Welcome to episode 11 of my Shenzhen IO Let's Play. I am back on the unknown optimization device. The goal of this episode is to first attempt to just kind of rework this a little bit. So I've actually made a copy of my original design, which is this, and I'm basically just going to kind of scrap everything. Well, maybe not this part. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah, let's just delete all that. So, no, I'm not going to do all that. So, if you recall, we need to test. What I want to do is just basically test if y is true, and by that I mean is y between 40 and 79 according to the Adobe thing here. So what I'm gonna do, if y is 40 or greater, let's see, I actually don't know if I need any of this. Let's just kind of put 1 in ACC and then test if less than P0 on 80. Yeah. If it is, add 1. Okay, that actually does the same thing, but I'm gonna just retype that for clarity. So then I can just test the status of ACC. You know what? I can probably do this with a smaller chip, I bet. And actually, just to save a little bit of space, I am going to move it all the way down. And I know that's why, so I'm going to try to compress that. Alright, so add 1. And so then I can test if ACC is 2. If it is, I don't know, move 100, I guess. Let's see here. Let's try and then I'll move. No, I want to put 0 on the accumulator regardless, just so I can kind of start over. And then I'm gonna move 0 on that, and then I can sleep. And presumably, only if y is within the correct range will this activate. So this chip, I think probably the easiest way to split it up would be to say send either 30, 0 or 60 when x is high, and if it's just 60 then it's fine. Well, no, I guess I'll need 4 numbers. I'll need it to send 4 numbers. So I can have it send 30 for when x is less than 20. That's easy. And then I want it to send 0 when x is between 20 and 40. And so then, let me get rid of that there. And then this chip can say, all right, if I'm receiving 0, or, well, no. This chip says if receive 30. Actually, I can probably simplify things quite a bit. Alright, so this middle chip, though, is the one I'm going to be talking about. If X is less than 20, then that middle chip can just send 30. If X is between 20 and 40, it can just send 0. If it's between 80 and 100, just send 30. So I guess I can probably be simplified a little bit by saying if X is less than 20 or greater than 80, send 30. Which actually I don't know if that will save me any lines of code, but we'll see. So then I have one thing for this vertical area when X is less than 40. And then I want one thing here and one thing here. And so basically, if X is between 40 and 60, if X is between 40 and 60, I want that middle chip to look at Y. And if Y is false, send 0. If true, send 50. And then again, if X is greater than 60 but less than 80, that middle chip is going to look at Y. If false, send 30. If true, send 80. So, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions, technically. So I'm going to turn that off so you can kind of see what I'm... Alright. What do I have here, though? If less than 20, send 30. Yeah. If greater than 39, add 1. Alright, that seems overly complicated. If PO is greater than 80, is that right? Shouldn't be so difficult. Alright, so X less than 80, which means up to 79. Yeah, so I can actually just make this thing here 79. And if that's true, I'll move 30. So that's 2 things out of the way. So I guess I need 3 more then. If alright, so there's 3 regions remaining, right? So I just need to figure out which region it is. Alright, so if I have... I just want to like change variables, basically. So if X is between this area... Okay. If X is greater than 19... Whoops, sorry. PO 19, then add 1. If X is greater than... Yeah, this should work. If it is greater than 39... add 2. If x is greater than... Oh wait, this won't quite work, will it? Alright. Here, I think I'm gonna say jump end. And also here, we'll just jump to the end. Whoops. And then somewhere down here, I'll just have end. Probably like that. Alright, so if 39, if it's greater than 59, add 3. Okay, I don't have enough code here. I ran out. I guess this doesn't have to do that. That'll give me one extra line of code. Alright, so add 3. No, add 4, sorry. Alright, so now because I have this jumping to the end, the accumulator will read 1 if x is here. It'll read 3 if here, and it'll read 7 if here. Sure, yeah. I don't need to like figure out exactly where the smallest numbers I need to use to make this work. I just have 3 unique numbers, so that works. So then, at the very end of this... Oh, wait. Shit. Well, no, I guess that doesn't matter. So at the end, I'll just move ACC on P1 and put 0 in the ACC. 0 in the accumulator. Hopefully this will work. Where it could fall apart is having this, if this keeps sending 30, then, or 7 or whatever, then this is going to get messed up. Okay, so actually, who cares what that code was? That's just kind of shit that doesn't apply anymore. So I can say, excuse me, test if how do I want to do this? What was I sending? Alright, so I'm either sending 100 or 0. Because it doesn't matter where y is. Right. I don't know why I didn't... Oh wait, you can't see what I'm doing, sorry. I deleted all the code from here. It was that. No, it wasn't. I don't know what was here. It was worthless though. I'm only ever getting a signal on P0 if... Well, it's either 100 for y is true or 0 if y is false. So if P0 is 100, okay, so I'm worried about this code not being efficient. I just feel like this and that won't be sending their signals to this at the same time, or when this chip needs to read them. And I don't know how to fix that. I guess one thing I could do to potentially make this consistent is, instead of having this move 30 right away, I could just like add 30 to the accumulator, or add something to the accumulator, not necessarily 30, but a value. And so then it's just gonna kind of go through and read all of this shit, and then at the end it's gonna just send whatever the accumulator is, and then all this has to do is read the accumulator, or read P1, and say, oh, alright. That seems easier, frankly. Let's try it that way. Because I'm sure that whatever I put into here is just going to get... Yeah. See, this is no longer testing on P1. It wouldn't be testing on PO. So it's just going to get to the end and be able to do nothing with the inputs. So, if that add 30. If this also add 30, and I guess I don't need the accumulator anymore. And now I actually have space to say at the very top I can put 0 in the accumulator. Oh shit, okay. This almost works. But see, this is getting that initial reading of 22. Which maybe is fine. And when it comes up a cycle late, which probably won't work. Alright. What if I'll at least make the thing consistent. Whoops. Oh. Oh, come on. Why are you not cooperating? What the fuck, man? Alright. So. This isn't going to work, though. Because with both of these being blanked out at the very beginning of a cycle, this isn't going to be able to read both of them. can't believe I'm about to say it, but I almost feel like I need to use an X bus. Wait. Why did I just... How did I just remove code? Oh, I had this move 0 on there twice. Let's try it that way. Alright. So 1, 2. I still feel like this isn't going to sync up. Okay, wait. Ah, shit, no, that won't work. What I want, what I'm trying to make happen, is for this chip to read this. I want it to read from here. And then I want it to just kind of store that value and then just sleep until this sends a value. But for some reason, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to get this right. Alright, so now I at least have space to add as many lines as I want. Alright, so if I move... Alright, so if y is true, I send a value on P1. Surely it doesn't matter if I like put this down here, right? As opposed to at the very top. It's still going to sleep and execute this very next line of code, right? Like, all I really want is for there to be some space. I still don't know how to optimize that over here either. Okay, so... I mean, unless I'm somehow forgetting something about the game and misunderstanding how it works, this can't read from here until this is executed. Potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code. So am I just gonna have to... Oh my crap. Am I just gonna have to do this? I don't know how to make this sync up. I'm fucking clueless. Okay, what if I just don't need to do that part? I guess I could try that. Maybe this will work. I don't fucking know. I just really pretty strongly feel like experience has shown me that not sending 0 on here is gonna fuck something up. But maybe not. Alright, so anyway. We've got a Y value. And we've got an X value. So, first thing I need to do is figure out if Y is false, then I can just kind of send whatever value X is. So, Oh boy. Okay. How do I actually do this though? It's supposed to be saying if y is false, send x. Is the super simplified version of it. But I can't just send x, I have to first figure out what x is. So if I say if y is false, then do a bunch of shit. Alright. Let's start with if y is true. Oh my god, I don't know how to do this. If y is true, oh my god. I'm struggling here. I kind of feel like I would need another fucking chip. Oh, fuck, it was the connections, man. Alright. This isn't really going to work, is it? Well, maybe it will. Alright. Alright, if y is true, then I need to look at x. Okay, no, I'm doing this wrong. If y is false, then I can jump to a tag somewhere. And I'll just kind of have a label for if y is false. Alright, so if it's true, sorry. It only gets here if y is true. So if y is true, then test if the accumulator is... Alright, hold on, what did I say? X is going to be... what is X going to be? Alright, X is going to be... Alright, I need to look at the Adobe thing, which I closed. Okay. If X is between 40 and 50, or 40 and 60, I mean, do I have a way to actually determine that? If x is greater than 60, if it is greater than 60, the accumulator will be reading 37, right? Accumulator is 37. Move 80 on P1. 80 is that value, or is the value of that region. If it is not 30, no, I can't say if it's not 37. Because if the accumulator is only 1, I have to do 2 tests, don't I? I think so. If the accumulator... Alright, so if it is... Wait, no, it wouldn't be reading 37. It would only be reading 7. And this would be 3, right? Because, alright, if x is less than 20, sure. If it's greater than 80, it'll be 30. If it's... Maybe I don't need to test if y is true unless x is 7 or whatever. How would I do that? I don't know. Let's try this first. I'm gonna run out of room, but let's try it. Fuck, I don't know. If the accumulator is 3, yeah, because I split it up into 3 things. It's either gonna be 30. I'll show that to you again. If I programmed things correctly, then, if I program things correctly, then this accumulator, well, I guess this thing, this first chip, if programmed correctly, will output either 30, or 30, or 1, or 3, or 7. Right? I mean, if it's up here, then I guess it'll output 37, but if it just outputs 37, then I don't care. But that could actually create a problem for me. Because, yeah, these are all greater than tests. So, yeah, it's either going to put out 30, 1, 3, 7, or 37. So I guess technically I can maybe... Actually, I bet if I make this 23, then this is either going to output 30 for this or that. Which, if it's 30, then I can just... Can I do that? Why not? Alright. So I've got X in the accumulator. If X is 30, That's not what I want to do. I feel like it'd be easiest to do another test if right? All right. If I had like 4 more lines of code, I think I might be able to actually do this. What I want to say is, all right, so I get to this, I get to, wait, I don't want to move 1, I want to move 0 on P1. So I get to that point, right? I've got that code. And so then, oh, you can't see what I'm doing, sorry. So if x is less than 20, this should send 30. If x is greater than 80, it should send 30. That's what this does. If x is between 20 and 40, it will send 0. Which means x is either, so if it, no, that's not true. Oh man. All right. It'd be great if I could do an and thing in here. If y is true and x is 5, send 50. If x is true and, or if y is true and x is 7, send 80. Which would actually be fine because if y true and x is 5, send 50. Okay, but I want an else on there, but that only Alright. I don't know how to do this. I want to say send 0, and then if y true and x equals 7, then send 80, else send 30. That's what I want to do. But this else is dependent on, it's only dependent on y being false, right? See, the thing is, with the fucking constraints of this game, trying to do this is going to take fucking forever. Because these else's are only dependent on the first part of this statement. So, if I actually want to code something like this, what I'd have to do Alright. Let's just try to get, like, this first half. Let's figure out a way to program that first half, shall we? Is X actually connected to anything? No. It just makes it a little bit easier to read. Kind of. Alright, if y is true and x equals 5, send 50, else send 0. How do I actually program that? Let's just kind of assume I have this chip that I'm working on. Alright. So, if y is true, test if, what do I have here? I moved it in the accumulator. Test if accumulator is 100. If it's not, then the accumulator, then y should be false. So I should be able to just kind of jump to the end, wherever the end is, and I'll just have to execute other code. That's out of the scope of what I'm trying to do right now. So, if the accumulator is true, then it's going to execute this code. So then I can test if that is 5. If it is, am I doing this wrong? Yeah, I'm doing this wrong. Because this, if x is 5 and y is false, any code I put here won't get sent because of this thing. So, what I would actually need to do, test if ACC is 0. If it is, then I can jump to the end where I only look at x. But the accumulator is true. Then I get to this point. Y is true. So then I can test if data is 5. And if it is, am I doing this wrong again? I am, aren't I? No, alright. I can't... What I want to do is say, if true, move 50. If not true, move 0, right? I'm looking at this thing here. That note I'm trying to code, I'll move it over so you can actually see it. This code what I want to do is to look here at when x is between 40 and 50, 40 and 60, and if y is true, send 50, if not, send 0. This is kind of doing that wrong, isn't it? Because this is looking at y first. Okay, wait, so if... Fuck. Alright. Let's store that somewhere else. I'm going to try to redo this. I'm going to start with x. Test if dat is 5. So it's 5, which means I either send 50 or 0, depending on y. Alright, let me... I'm struggling with this so much. Alright. So, just kind of casual speak again. If x is 5 and y is true, send 50. No, so alright, the way I want to set this is if x is 5, then I can have brackets. How do I don't even know how to put my thoughts on paper, fuck. Alright. I don't even know how to start this. Fuck, okay. I can say see, I don't know. If x is 5, test if y is true. Alright, maybe just force when x is 5, test if y is true. If, send 50. If not, send 0. That's what I'm trying to do. Because that seems easier than saying when y is true, test if x equals 5. Because yeah, this, I feel like it just doesn't work. Oh, that's because I'm... No, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, I think. Because I'm supposed to say, if y is false, then I can just kind of send x, whether x is 30, 0, 0, 30, or 30. So if this first chip up here is, if this X chip, I'll call it, outputs 30, then it's 30. If it outputs 1, then it's just 0. If it outputs 30, should only output 30 up here, then the region is 30. If it outputs 2, then we have to consider y. Sorry, if it outputs 3, then we have to consider y. If it outputs 7, we have to consider y. So, I mean, I need to program it so that the only time it looks at y, or so it looks at y, and then if y is true, only when y is true, it will do a test. Okay, fuck. No, that's the problem I ran into. I keep getting lost in my own thoughts. Cause see, alright. So if I say if y is false, if I hide that, and look back here. Oh, I didn't actually do it, did I? Alright. Instead of this, we'll just kind of keep out those first three things because they're useless. Alright, so I can say test if ACC is 100. If it is, no, if it is not, then y is false. So I can jump to something else. And that something else will basically say send 30 or 0, depending on the number. So I can figure out that code, I guess. It's going to take a while. Alright, so this will be that X code. Right? So this will be X. I can just say test if ACC is no, because I'm considering other things and it just keeps, oh my god, it's so complicated. I don't have any way to like put my thoughts, get my thoughts external to my head in a way that makes sense. To see, what I'm realizing is if I do it this way, sure, the code that I put in here will only get executed if y is true. But see, then I get down here and this code is gonna execute regardless. And I don't want that because, alright, so if y is true, yeah, see, the problem comes with this, if y is true, but x is 30, okay, I need to circumvent that, actually. See, I got lost in my head again. Alright. So first, I'm going to have a few stages to this. First, alright, I'm trying to storyboard, basically. Let's just get rid of some of these wires so they're just not cluttering things up and making it look worse. Okay. I don't know if this is making sense. Alright, so if x equals, well, not, alright, if x is less than 20 or greater than 80, then send 30. else jump to the end. If x is between 20 and 40, send 0. No. I need to say if that, then send 30, and then jump to the end. So then this is going to also do the same thing. So that removes any possibility of other code being executed in instances when x is between 40 and 80. So this code only gets executed in certain times. So this is going to be the end, where I don't know. Alright, so in here we do need to test if y is true. Well, yeah. Because at this point, with this kind of code, at this point, x is going to be between 40 and 80. Just straight up it will be. So if between 40 and 80, if x between, so only when x, when okay, right? So that's when this is activating. Sort of the second stage, I guess. So x is between 40 and 80. So I guess I have two ways of doing this, right? Oh, of course. I just want to move this out of the way a little bit. Alright. So if I have this over here as just kind of an alternate, I have two ways of doing this, basically. I can either say if y is true, then look at x. How do I actually do that? If I can't actually do that, I don't know. Alright. If y equals true, no, if y is false, then send x. Basically, if y is else, send 50 or 80. I don't know how to do that, man. Alternatively, I could look at y, or look at x first. If x is less than 60, then check y. And within there, if y is false, send 0, send 0, else send 50. If y is true, wait. No, then I'd have to do a separate test for if x is greater than 60. And then if y is false, send 30, else send 80. How the fuck do I put that into code? This seems more complicated than this. Maybe it's just because I typed it out differently. I don't know. Okay, so I just want to like do a thing. Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking of things unrelated to the game right now because I need to schedule stuff. I don't know. I don't know anything. Alright. Alright. What the fuck was I gonna do with these two parts of my storyboard? Like when I was putting the notes in here, I had a plan for it, but now I don't remember what it was. Alright. I need to figure out how I'd actually code either of these. Okay. So. So this only happens when x is between 40 and 80. Let me just kind of copy that down. Just so I don't get lost or something at some point. Again, and lose track of what I'm doing. So, if y is false, test if accumulator is 0. If it is, how do I do the other part? Fuck, I'm so bad at this. Alright. If y is false, then I feel like I should have a jump command somewhere in here. It'd be great if I could just have a loop thing that only executes if something was pointed to that loop, you know? So like if X is false, then I jump to a loop, and then I have some code, and then down here I say I have a loop that does its own stuff. And, you know, I have a test. And it's true. And so then I can just have this loop. And so everything in this loop happens if that test is true. And then everything in here only happens if that test is false. You know? That would be nifty. But I don't know how to do that. It would, because currently the way I'd have to do that is basically I'd have to have, you know, for all the positives, I need to have this. But then if I need to have another test somewhere in here, then these positives start falling apart. So, if accumulator is 0, then y is false. If y is false, then I look at x. Like, I have to nest tests, do I not? I'm failing to think of anything else that would work here. Unless I used a different fucking chip. How do I do this? Oh my god. Because I'm thinking, I don't know how to nest these chips. It would be so much easier if I just had another variable. If I had another variable, I think I could make something work. As it is, because see, what I'd like to do is if y is false, fuck, I don't know what I want to do. This is a fucking mess is what this is. Just all together, everything. It's a fucking mess. I haven't even started testing my code to find the bugs. Alright, can I figure this out? Going by x first. Test if x, well, test if that equals 5. If it does, I'm I mean, I would want to add to the variable. And then I can test if fuck, dude, I don't know what the hell I would do. Alright, so do I want to test if x equals 5? Once again, I'm feeling like I need a section of code that will only activate under certain circumstances, but I need the entire section to only activate under certain circumstances, and within that section, I need tests. Possibly I can do this by jumping to labels, but I'm failing to think of how. I just don't see it. If x is 5, then test for y but see, once I do that test, so I can send either 50 or 0, like I can say if y is positive, send 50, else send 0. Okay, I guess I don't know for sure, because it sees this test here. Okay, maybe this will work, actually. Let's just fucking try it, I guess. Or proceed with it, because before I get to try it, I'm going to find something else, and it's going to make a mess. Alright, test if... Actually, no. This is going to be the accumulator in 5. If true, test if that is 100. If true, send 50 on P1. Else, send 0 P1. So if this only activates when x is between 40 and 80, then x is either less than x is either 5 or 7. Right? Which I want to say means I don't have to test if x equals 7. Actually, it's not 5. Sorry, it's going to be 3. I feel like I shouldn't need to do that line there, but at the same time, I don't know how else to do this. Sorry, I don't do test if it equals, I just do test if that. If it is, which, I mean, it would be if this. I should probably finish this before moving on to a new strain of thought, but I'm wondering, what if I do a test if 3, if if it is, jump to something else, jump to X. Wait. No, let's just put that off to the side, because I feel like this makes more sense if I'm coming from it, if I'm looking at Y first. Test if Y is 100. If yes, jump Y. If not, jump X. Does this make sense? I know it doesn't to you. Because see, then I can have label Y, test if X equals 5. And if true, no, sorry, test if X and 5 are, no, what? Oh, that's, I'm doing, wait, yeah, no, that's the right syntax. I just need this to be 3. Test if X and 3 are equal. No, not if X and 3. Test if ACC and 3 are equal. If they are, send 50, else send 80. And then I have label X, which is test if ACC is 3. If it is, I guess I'd say move 0 on P1. If not, move 30 P1, right? That's functioning code. I mean, except for where I actually put send, but this is functioning code here, because this only activates when X is between 40 and 80. So it's, which means X is either 5 or 7. Or X is either 3 or 7. So I don't need to do a test if it's 7 or not. It's just, if, is it 3? Yes or no. And the no is going always to be the case of when it is 7. Because see, oh my god, fucking hell. Okay. So if instead I try to do a test if DAT is 100, and then I jump Y, and then I just do a test, well, yeah, this should work also, because if X is false, or if Y is false, sorry, then I just test that and move 50 or move 80. And then I have Y. Well, no, because then I don't want Y to run. So I'd have to jump to the end. and then Y, I would have that code, and then again at the end of Y. Actually, no, I wouldn't need to have Y jump somewhere. I could just do test. No. Sorry, this is when Y is false. So this is actually the exact same amount of code as this. It's just organized a little bit differently. Except, in this case, you know, say Y is true. If Y is true, jump Y. So it goes here, tests that, and then it moves one of these, and then it's going to proceed on to this. Which means I would need to put a jump to the end here. So this would require an extra line of code. And then here, this wouldn't need an extra line of code because this would only activate if. Which means I wouldn't actually need this, right? I wouldn't need to jump. Yes, I would. I guess I wouldn't need this though. If Y is false, do this shit. So actually, I guess I can, instead of having that, I can just say jump to the end. I don't know, I think this code works. Test if Y is 100. If Y is not 100, we only need X. Which means we just jump here. X is either 3 or 7. If it's 3, we send 0. If it's 7, we send 30. And then we can go to sleep. But if Y is true, it ignores that, looks at here. And then if X is 3, it'll send 50. If not, then X is 7 and it'll move 80. This works. This functions. I'm pointing at the screen. You can't see that, but this works. Which means I think I don't need this because this was just an alternate to this. Fuck it. Let's just lose that note. Alright, so I can drop this shit. This, I think, is just supposed to be the same thing as this. Test if ACC is 3, then test something else. That's like nested tests, and I don't like it. Alright, we got a chunk of code there. Now how the fuck do we fit everything else this chip needs to do on this chip with 4 more lines? Because this can't go to sleep yet. Alright. I need another one of these notes, actually. Awesome, I brought back that one. I didn't know if I could or not. Just rearranging here a little bit to maintain my comfort. Okay. Alright. So when... Alright. So actually what I can do is in here, I could have a jump Y, or not a jump Y, I could just have a label Y, if I can find it. So, basically at the bottom of the other thing, at the bottom of this, I'll just have jump Y. No, I wouldn't need that. Would I? No. Is this continuous? All right. Wait. This is just a subset of this? Is this doing this job? Because that was for if X is between 40 and 80. I apologize for the dings in the background, but I'm not turning that off. So, live with it. Okay. If X is on either the far left or the far right, if we know what X is, we can do things. So yeah, this is, we're either sending 30 or sending 0, and then we're jumping to the end. And so immediately after this, we should be able to use this code without that fucking label there. Because this will only activate if X is between 40 and 80, or else it would have already jumped to the end, right? So it looks through here. And this will send anything for this region. Because there's one, this and this is one region, this and this is a second region, third region, fourth region. So we got 4 options there, plus the first 3. But see, this is technically, you know, if 20 is one option, 80 is another option, so that's 2. And then if this, that's a third option. And then we got the 4 options here, either move 50, 80, or 0, 30. So this is actually, like, complete. I just need to rewrite this. I don't know, I think this works. Let's lose that. Bring this over. And then end, I think, is just kind of sleep 1. But what I need to do is rewrite this to be actual code. Once again, I'm doing non-game stuff because I have things to schedule and things. God, this game is hard. Okay. See, I don't even... Oh my god. I hate this game. I'm aware that any code I write is honestly a little bit pointless. Because see, what's going to happen is I write code to make a thing work. I mean, I could do kind of what I did here, and I'll just write actual code to get this across. But see, that doesn't work because I can't fit both of these on a single chip. So I need to figure out so, I mean, really, what I'm going to have to do... This chip is full. This is going to have to send a thing over here and say, hey... I mean, I could rewrite this, theoretically, to do something different. I don't know how. Oh my god, I'm getting so far out of my own head. I could have it. If it's this or this, then I could just move 20, or I could just move 30 on, you know, a pin. Otherwise, I do this shit and get 1, 3, or 7, and then I can move that somewhere else. And so then I'll have like a chip over here that says, alright, I got a signal from this. Which means I can just send it on. And we'll be dandy. Alternatively, or well, no, and then in that same situation, I would need this to be sending the 1, 3, or 7 somewhere else, and then that chip can say, alright, I got 1, 3, or 7. Actually, no, because if it's 1, then it would just send 0. So if it's for this test or this test, no, because the reason I have these additions so that I can differentiate between these things, because if I can't do a greater than test without also including all the other things. Right? Because, I mean, even this test. Like, I can't do this test without this test also being true. Which means this is actually never going to receive... Wait, what? I don't know. So I don't know how to get away from this. But only the 3 or the 7 need to actually be sent to like another chip, which I would have, which would basically just run this and then come back up to this other chip, which can then say, it can just kind of pass this signal along. So what if I move this out of the way? I don't think I need that anymore. What the hell is this doing? I don't know. Alright, so what the fuck do I have here? Oh my god, I don't want to like delete this thing because reasons. What the fuck do I have with these over here? Test if... I think these are other storyboards which I can probably get rid of by now. If x equals 5, test if it's true, then send one of the others. See, yeah, these are just trying to work out this. Y is true and that. Yeah. I've gotten that bit of code finished. Test if... Okay. So. Actually, that can fit on here. So let's just fucking lose that. Well, let's bring that back just so I can make these a little bit nicer. What? That is not at all what I wanted. Alright. Probably things don't matter. Oh, what still? So I have that code written out. Fuck you. Alright. Oopsies. Sorry about the stuff there. Alright, I'm going to use notes to try to figure out the details of this chip. And then I'll do other stuff. Fuck, I forgot about stuff. About other stuff outside of the game. I lost the game. I need to check on, like, things here. Alright, what? Guess I don't have to, strictly speaking. Let's see, what time is it? Where was that? Oh, fuck. Okay. I know I'm going to be ending this video soon. I don't know if I should end it like right now or in like 10 or 20 minutes. I kind of want to work on this a little bit more. So, if things are getting split up, because I can't fit everything on one chip. So, I get something from PO. Presumably it'll just be there for the entire cycle. Yeah, it will be. So, if PO is 20, or less than 20, let's just move 30 on P1. Alright, here's something. I mean, I could have this just connect there, right? And then I can have some other chip that does stuff, and then that can also connect, right? I don't know that I can manage this, though. Well, I don't have another line of... I do have another line of code. Alright. I don't have enough space though. Because I don't know what would happen when this gets conflicting inputs. I kind of just want to try a thing, sort of. I'm just gonna make this a little bit more obvious. Alright. Predictions. This output will work. Except that I'm gonna have to add a thing in here to then move 0 at the end of things. And I guess, well, maybe not. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Oh. Fuck it, man. I don't know. What is going on here? It's either sending 60 or 100. Oh, this illuminates that, which I guess doesn't matter for this, but I still find it a little bit interesting. So, I mean, this is working technically. So if that works, then I think I can probably do the thing I had in mind, kind of. I'm done, though. So, I'll catch you next time. And maybe I'll figure this thing out. I don't know. Oh, that was a 2-hour video. God damn. I didn't realize it was that long. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.